Hey, everybody. Monday morning. Afternoon now, depending, of course, on what part of the world you are living in. Welcome aboard. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, welcoming you to another live edition of Fire Your MD Now, a.k.a. the Dr. Glidden Show. And if you're watching this live video stream on YouTube, please check out the drgliddenshow.tv website. Go to the drgliddenshow.tv, where you will be given the free opportunity to join the worldwide live chat, which is associated with this broadcast. We have 48 people now in the house. Switzerland is in the house, Alberta, Canada, San Diego, St. Louis, Dominican Republic, California, Las Vegas, Winnipeg, Ohio, Texas is here. Arizona, Lancaster, California, Encinitas, Chicago, California. We got people all over the world, literally all over the world. And if you go to the drgliddenshow.tv, you will be given the opportunity to enter into the live chat. There's over 50 people now in the house chatting it up. Like-minded individuals. This is a good thing to do because this is a good community, a good way to interface with people from all over the world, from every walk of life you can imagine, who all are of the same medical mind. That conventional medicine is absolutely positively the wrong place to bring your body if you're suffering from a chronic disease. It's the right place to bring your body, more or less, if you're suffering from trauma or actually, in point of fact, do need surgery. But for chronic disease, conventional medicine has let us down, and it's let us down hard. But we are suffering from the cultural myth. Everybody seems to have drunk the Kool-Aid, especially the older generations, right? Our parents' generation, especially people who are in their 60s and 70s and 80s. They've drunk the Kool-Aid that the MD is king, that the MD knows everything, that the MD knows all. And because the MDs have monopolized the medical marketplace for the last 100 years, when they screw up, they get a pass. We don't even consider the idea. The idea does not even enter into our minds that the MDs could have even been at fault. Case in point, Joan Rivers. God rest her soul, Joan Rivers, dead. She's left the earth plane after going to a medical doctor's office for a simple procedure. I'm not sure if the news wires have let out what the simple procedure was, but Joan Rivers went for a simple procedure and died because of it. And where in the conversation about her life was there the mention that the doctors screwed up and that the reason that she died is because she went to see an MD? Where is that conversation? Where is the conversation about Robin Williams medications and the side effects that they produce, suicidal ideation? Where is that conversation? Where is the conversation about Joan Rivers? Where was the conversation about Neil Armstrong? The first man on the moon went to see his doctor. The doctor says, Neil, you're looking great. There's a little bit of a problem with one of the arteries going into your heart. It's no big deal now, but it might be a big deal 5 years from now. So let's just put you in. We'll do a little bypass surgery. It'll be over before you know it. By the way, I've got an opening tomorrow. Let's schedule you in. Neil Armstrong dies from a non-essential medical treatment. Andy Rooney, of 60 Minutes fame, goes to his medical doctor for an annual checkup. They do some procedure, which they didn't say, but it was a routine medical procedure. That's all that they'd say, and he dies. Where is the conversation? 780,000 people a year are killed because of MD-directed medical treatments. 780,000 people a year, and that's a conservative estimate. It's probably closer to 1 million. 1 million people a year dead because they went to see an MD, and what do? Well, the government makes it mandatory for us to buy medical insurance, which gives us access to MD-directed medicine. If you're in Canada, if you're in the European Union, you've got no choice. It's socialized medicine. It's baked into the cake. You don't get access to chiropractors. You don't get access to naturopaths. You don't get access to homeopaths. You don't get access to anybody but the MD. And what does the MD do? Well, the MD kills you. 780,000 people a year can't be wrong. And this is the conversation, right? We give the MDs a pass, and the only reason that we give them a pass is because we've been hoodwinked into believing that they are the exclusive owners of everything having to do with medicine. Case in point, Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz has this TV show where he talks about all this stuff he has no clinical experience and no training in whatsoever. I mean, would you listen to a radio program about how to farm, about farming techniques? Would you listen to a radio program about the best methods for farming by Giada De Laurentiis, right? She's the woman that has that, she's a world famous chef now. She just opened up a brand new restaurant in Las Vegas. Well, she knows all about food. She works with food all the time. Wouldn't she be a good person to know about farming and how to grow the food? What's that, you say? No, she wouldn't. Well, wouldn't she be a good person to talk to about canning food and the manufacture process of food and which robots are the best to do it? What's that, you say? No, that's not in her wheelhouse. Well, neither is it in the wheelhouse of the MD to know anything about botanical medicine, to know anything about homeopathic medicine, to know anything about acupuncture, Ayurveda, naturopathic medicine, zero, zip, nada, niet. And yet, Dr. Oz's show is extremely popular because we've all drunk the Kool-Aid. Well, Longevity members haven't drunk the Kool-Aid. Members of Longevity Nation worldwide have all snapped out of the matrix, but most people in the world still believe that the MD, by virtue of their education, has some secret decoder ring that gives them exclusive purview to all things medical, and it is nonsense. It is nonsense. Your medical doctor does not know what's best for you. Your medical doctor only knows what they've been trained in, and what your medical doctor has been trained in is just one small piece of the pie of medical science. It's referred to as allopathic reductionism. And allopathic reductionism sucks. It sucks. Because it is based on an outdated, old-fashioned, archaic methodology which is inconsistent with the reality of the human being. Allopathic reductionism argues there is no soul, there is no spiritual force, the body has no built-in intelligence, that your body is just a biochemical bag waiting to break, and when something does break, it's not the MD's job to fix it, it's the MD's job to orchestrate a hostile takeover of the biochemistry of your body with medications. And look, it's not the drug, it's how it's used. It's not the gun, it's how it's used. Medication, when used properly, will help. When medication, when used the way that the MDs use it, will kill you. So the MDs don't believe that the body can fix itself. The MDs don't believe that the body has any inborn spiritual essence, any inborn spiritual intelligence. The MDs believe that once you're sick, you're screwed, and it's their way or the highway. So when you're sick, it's not their job to cure the illness. It's their job to manage the symptoms with drugs. And so we get used to this because they're everywhere all the time, the MDs are. Oh, no, we can't cure the heartburn. We can manage it with a little purple pill. Oh, no, we can't cure the arthritis. We can manage it with pain meds and anti-inflammatories, and if those don't kill you, well, we'll just give you a fake knee. And when that one fails, we're not going to give you your money back. We're going to schedule for your second knee replacement, and then your third, and then your fourth, and then your fifth. Oh, no. We can't cure high blood pressure, but we can manage it with hydrochlorothiazide, and even though after you've been taking it for 4 years, you're probably going to get type 2 diabetes, what are we going to do? That's just life. It's collateral damage. I'm sorry. It's all over. Oh, no, we can't cure autism. By the way, that must be genetic. Well, if it's genetic, doctor, please answer me this question. How has it risen in incidence? From 1 out of 10,000 to 1 out of 80, 1 out of 89, depending on how you crunch the numbers. Some people think 1 out of 50. How is such a remarkable rise probable relative to genetics? I mean, didn't Darwin teach us about selection of the fittest and that survival of the fittest and that the people with the good genes survive and the people with the bad genes get kicked out? So shouldn't all the people with the autism gene have died off a long time ago? How can it be accelerating? If it's truly genetic, it can't be accelerating. So you're telling me it's genetic? You have your head up your ass. You do. You're a bad doctor. You haven't thought it through. And I have to pay medical insurance premiums in the United States 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $1,000 a month so I can get advice from someone with their head up their rear end? You got to be kidding me. Oh, no, 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 the MD says. We can't fix type 2 diabetes. That's also genetic. Baloney. For the same rationale, it can't be genetic. Number one, we reverse it all the time. At number two, it's illegal for alternative healthcare practitioners to say that they can cure anything, even if they can, because according to the Food and Drug Administration, the only thing that can cure anything is a drug. If I owned a water company and I put on the label of my water treats dehydration, I would be thrown in jail and my stock would be confiscated by the Food and Drug Administration because that's making a false drug claim. If you're not pissed off, you're not paying attention. The only people in the United States that can treat disease are the people who are horrible at treating disease. The only people who get research money are the people who advocate the allopathic reductionistic method, which is the wrong dog for the hunt. Don't even get me started on cancer. We're doing an entire month on cancer. We're kicking that off. Let me give you the date. October 6th. October 6th is the kickoff date for Cancer Month right here on the Dr. Glidden Show. .tv. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time we, collectively picked ourselves up, dusted ourselves off, and got to move on here. Fire your medical doctor. They've let you down. They have nothing for you when it comes to chronic disease except old-fashioned, outdated, expensive, dangerous, and deadly therapeutics. Let them be. Stop feeding that beast. And educate yourself about simple steps you can take with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. That's what I'm here to talk about every day, Monday through Thursday, 3 to 5 p.m. Stick around. Big bada bing. Right, I mean, it's like the blind leading the blind, and it really is. And imagine if you're, you win the lottery and you hire somebody to paint a family portrait. Remember, like they used to do back in the old days, paint a family portrait. It was way before they had cameras, right? So, you're old school and you want to do that. You hire an artist, but they're colorblind, but they don't know that they're colorblind. They're going to paint the painting, and it's going to look like your family, but the color's going to be all wrong. Well, that's what the MDs are like. They're like colorblind artists who don't know they're colorblind. Their paintings are always going to suck. And it's not because they're, evil people. It's not because they're trying to hurt you. It's because they're closed-minded intellectual cowards who can't see beyond the scope of what they were taught. And even when the scope of what they were taught fails, they don't have the courage to step outside of the box. They don't. They absolutely, positively do not deserve your respect. They do not. And, furthermore, they've gone out of their ways to cast aspersions on every other medical profession. They were convicted of, the American Medical Association was convicted in federal court in the mid-'80s for promoting a decades-long slander campaign against the chiropractors. They defamed the chiropractic organization for a decade. They put themselves into first place by pushing everybody else off the bus of medicine. It's illegal to practice naturopathic medicine. Illegal to practice naturopathic medicine in all but 18 states in the United States. You've got to be kidding me. Does your medical insurance cover chiropractic? You're lucky if it does. Does it cover homeopathy? Does it cover Ayurveda? Does it cover acupuncture? Does it cover anything but MD-directed medicine? No. The tide is shifting, ladies and gentlemen. Your MD, if you're bleeding from an artery, if you have a broken bone, you have a bullet in your arm, heaven forbid, go to the MD, because that's their wheelhouse. But remember what Harvard University says. Over 50% of MDs working in emergency medical clinics are addicted to pain meds, street drugs, or alcohol. So if you need the bullet pulled out of your arm, have your doctor drug test it. Of course, that's not going to happen. Because when you're king, you can do anything, and they're the kings. So, what we offer here on this radio show are rational solutions to chronic health problems that the MDs are clueless about. Rational solutions to chronic health problems that the MDs are clueless about. And the recommendation here for everybody in the world, and let me say it once more, everybody in the world needs to drink water that's not contaminated, not polluted, right? You need to have purified water. Your city, county, state already does that for you if you live in the United States or Canada. Probably the European Union, right? They purify the water. You have to have a sanitation system that's going to eliminate your waste effectively. You need to be eating food on a regular basis, right? Otherwise, you're going to starve to death. By doing these three things, securing food production, eliminating human waste with public sanitation systems, and purifying the water, we doubled life expectancy. We doubled it in 100 years, doubled it. We went from 40-something to 80-something. Well, the human body has the potential to be 120 years of age, and, even though we've doubled life expectancy because the MDs have their heads up their rear ends when it comes to health, the last 20, 30 years of our lives aren't that great, are we? We need a pill to a prescription medicine to pee, a prescription medicine not to pee, a prescription medicine to fall asleep, a prescription medicine to wake up, a prescription medicine for energy, a prescription medication for the heartburn, a prescription medication for the knee pain, a prescription medication for the blood pressure, a prescription medication to take care of the side effects of those other prescription medications. We've got 2 fake hips. We've got 2 fake knees. No teeth. We're bald. We can't see, legally blind, and we can't hear. Life is great. Brought to you by Bus Driver MD. But this is what this has become the new normal, right? Mediocrity, medical mediocrity is the new normal. So, by doing one more thing, one more generic foundation boilerplate thing, adding one more thing into the program, we can take the next step forward in health. Clean up the water, public sanitation, eat food every day, that's not killing, that's the right food. Take the 90 essential nutrients that your body needs. There are 90 essential nutrients that your body needs to function the way that God and nature intended it to, but those nutrients are not all present in the food chain. They are not all present. Unless you are actively and aggressively supplementing with the 90 essential nutrients every day, it's only a matter of time until something in your body breaks, and then you go to an MD and they throw a drug at it, and then you are SOL. One Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 Liquid. One Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 Liquid for 100 pounds of body weight per month is a perfect place to start to get your health back. Donna from Indiana's up next. Stick around. Yeah, I say it all the time. It seems like Mission Impossible, and sometimes it does, right? Because, people are stupid, people are pig-headed, people are scared, people are stuck in their ways. The sower had good seed, but some fell on rocky ground, some the birds ate, some started to grow but got strangled out, right? So that's 70% of people that you tell this to, or 75% of people that you tell this to are going to laugh at you, they're going to walk away, they're going to think you're a nut. Well, leave the dead to bury the dead, for goodness sake. You got to find that 25%, that 1 out of 4 who will listen. And the 1 out of 4 who will listen are the people that are going to, in fact, inherit the earth. Everybody else is going to die. And we're going to be the only ones left with health and wealth. So, in a generation or two, our ancestors will own everything. And I'm certainly okay with that. Let's go to Indiana and talk to Donna. Hey, Donna. She's been waiting patiently. Thanks for the call.
How you doing?
I'm good. What's happening?
I was diagnosed with breast cancer recently, with low-grade invasive neurogenic cancer. And so I've ordered your plant minerals. I want to know how much to take of those, and also the selenium.
Okay, so the recommendation to support and promote the structure and function of the human body, because remember, it's illegal for anybody in the United States but an oncologist to treat cancer, and we're not saying that we treat cancer here. Right. But in order to give your body a leg up with its immune system, I would do 4 bottles of the plant-derived minerals a month, and I would do 4 bottles of the selenium a month. 4 bottles of the selenium a month, that's 12 a day, 4 between meals, 4 between breakfast and lunch, 4 between lunch and dinner, and 4 between dinner and bedtime. and I would do 1 ounce 4 times a day of the plant-derived minerals. That also is best to do between meals. And feel free to mix the plant-derived minerals with anything else to make it taste better, because the plant-derived minerals all by themselves taste like water that's been in a garden hose for a week.
Okay. And also, I have a question. What is your opinion of ablation using radio frequency waves to kill the cancer cells? I guess the nutrition is going to do it. I believe it will, but...
Well, I have no idea. I don't have any experience with that type of clinical therapy. That harkens back to the right frequency generator. I'm not sure of anybody that's actually doing, dedicated clinical work with that's been, scientifically examined. I don't think it's a bad idea. It's certainly better than chemotherapy. It's certainly better than radiation. Certainly better than surgery.
Better than taking my whole breast off like they had wanted to do, and I said no.
Well,
So,
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, what I would do, one thing that I would do, just to kind of make yourself more able to sleep at night, is I would get a copy of my book, and I'm going to bring up, there's a way that you can get a free copy of my book. Let me bring that up for you here. I'm going to put this up on my screen. There's a website that we created, and it's called freedoctorbook.com. freedoctorbook.com. How about that? That's easy to remember. Go to freedoctorbook, DOCTOR book.com, freedoctorbook.com, and follow the instructions there, and you'll be able to download a copy of my book for free. And this is important because I did a chapter in my book on cancer, and the only reason I wrote that chapter was because there are 10 questions in that chapter that every cancer patient needs to ask their oncologist in the presence of a recording device and a witness. So if you politely ask your oncologist the 10 questions that are in my free book, you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt whether to move forward with their therapeutics or whether to abandon their therapeutics. The problem is that people in this country, people in Europe, people in Canada don't question the doctor. They just do what the doctor says because they trust that the doctor knows what's best. And that's a mistake. So these 10 questions are designed to bring to light what the MD's intentions are and how effective their therapeutics are. Most people are clueless about this. So that's what I would do if you regretfully have to interface with the MDs ever again. I also want you to research something called New German Medicine. I want you to go to a website called New German Medicine and read as much about that, maybe even find a practitioner who practices the New German Medicine. I'm going to be talking a lot about this in October. There's presumptively a direct link between the appearance of cancer in the body and a strong emotional stress. Like, your dog dies. Your dog gets run over by a car in front of you, or, your son or your daughter dies, heaven forbid, or you're in a nasty divorce, or you're betrayed or in business by your best friend or something. So, without giving any details, Donna, a year or so before you got the diagnosis here, was there any big emotional stress in your life?
I've had it right along, right? Yes.
Well, okay. So the idea here is that the emotional stress is at the root cause of the generation of the tumor cell. And by dealing with the emotional stress, coming to peace with it, letting it go, and healing from the emotional stress in real time, you go a long way towards helping the body not need to produce the tumor. Now, again, this is all, presumptive, and I don't know much about this. I do know a number of people who have had remarkable experiences with this type of medicine. I would check it out, newgermanmedicine.com, and if we're lucky enough in October, we're going to have a practitioner or 2 or 3 versed in this therapeutic on this program, because all October, it's all cancer all the time.
I've also heard about oral pathology leading to it, because each tooth is connected to an organ in the body.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
So I've heard about that. Yeah.
There's a lot of things to do, and see, this is the problem, right? Because all of the medical research goes to the MDs. The good clinical work about the relationship between emotional stress and cancer hasn't been done. The good clinical work about the relationship between oral health and cancer hasn't been done. None of it's been done. So we're all out here, all the holistic practitioners are out here dangling in the wind because nobody wants to treat cancer because you're going to get thrown in jail if you treat cancer here in the United States and you're not an MD. And the MDs will tell you and everybody else all the time that everybody but themselves is a quack practicing dangerous medicine. Oh, those quack cancer therapies. Well, guess what? The only quack cancer therapies that anybody's promoting here in the United States are promoted by MDs. Chemotherapy does not work, period. Period.
No.
Should be outlawed, for goodness sake, but don't get me started.
But even when they do, even before they do the biopsy, they tell you they're going to put a metal marker in the breast, mark the area. Now, I have 3 in my breast now that I didn't even want.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's crazy what they do, but, people are scared. And so...
Yeah, I wasn't afraid. Still I'm not. Because I know
I don't know what to tell you. This is a sticky wicket that you're in. I think that, there may be hope here inside the domain of the new German medicine. I would research that as much as you can.
Right into it, yes. So just, okay, I will. Definitely will.
Best of luck, Donna. Stay in touch.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right, my pleasure. All right. From that caller, let me see who are we going to next. George in California. Hey, George. Thanks for the phone call. You are live. Come in, George.
Hi, this is Madru.
Hey, Madru, what's going on in California?
I'm pretty good. He must have went away from the phone. George, I met at an event Saturday. He's got diabetes. He's had it for 5 years. He's got cholesterol problems. He takes cholesterol medicine basically every day. And he actually has, I guess that's it.
Well, that's enough.
Yeah, it is.
So, all right. So a good thing for him to do, because he doesn't have a cholesterol problem, but he thinks he does. His MDs have convinced him that he does. And, 5 years from now, you mark my words, 5 years from now, it's going to be front page news all across the New York Times. No illnesses associated with cholesterol. And then the MDs are going to wipe their hands. They're going to go home. There's going to be no consequences for decades of putting people on statin drugs incorrectly due to fuzzy research, due to research promulgated by the pharmaceutical industry, which had an a priori goal in sight, inductive reasoning instead of deductive reasoning. It's nuts. But so if he gets my book, which is free, he can read all about the whole cholesterol thing, and when he gets informed, he may be more liable to, stop taking the nonsense cholesterol meds that these guys are giving him and get on with the program. Of course, for blood sugar support, right, it's the healthy blood sugar pack. Really, that's all that I would do initially is give him the healthy blood sugar pack and have him eliminate the 10 bad foods. And I'd run with that for 90 days.
Okay. There you go.
Now, there's one more thing I'd like to enroll you in, Madru. And I don't know whether or not you're aware of this, but years ago, when Dr. Wallach was, getting up on stage and promoting the 90 essential nutrients, he promoted a certain milligram dosage of the plant-derived minerals every day. And when longevity became kind of out of their adolescence into adulthood and longevity started picking up steam, the people in longevity decided not to add 100% of the minerals to the healthy pack because they thought that if they did, it would make it too expensive and nobody would buy it. So my recommendation for everybody is, in addition to whatever healthy pack you put them on, add to the healthy pack 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month.
Got it.
Okay? And that's really going to help a lot if you just kind of add that into the program. But have him check out the book, read up about the cholesterol issue because it's a non-issue. And, keep your fingers crossed, measure the blood sugars on a regular basis, and, life is good.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Glidden.
All right, Madru, it's a pleasure always. This is how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. There's no consequences for the king, right? You know, the king screws up and screws up and screws up, or the king says, you know, we all need to eat this food all the time. And then 20 years later, it turns out that this food is killing people all the time. And so the king says, oops, we were wrong, and nothing happens to the king. Well, nothing's going to happen to the doctors. Nothing ever has happened to the doctors. Nothing's going to happen to the doctors. And they don't even have any intellectual integrity to be able to even take another look outside of the nonsense that they were trained in. It's a brainwash, it is. The education of a medical professional in the United States, the education of any PhD student. The intention of a doctoral program is to narrow how you think. It is not how to broaden how you think. When you get a PhD degree, you could have the world's best, most outstanding, out-of-the-box research with all your numbers correct, all your data points aligned. It is conclusive, your findings. But if your findings are outside of the conventional box, the 5-person PhD committee or the 3-person PhD committee is not going to grant you a PhD. Because there ain't no thinking outside of that box. And this is why everybody in the world, except members of Longevity Nation, are in a world of hurt. Stick around. That's right, freedoctorbook.com. Check it out. Knowledge is power. We're giving it away, ladies and gentlemen. freedoctorbook.com. Oklahoma is up next. Let's go to talk to Victoria. Hey, Victoria, I haven't spoken to someone from Oklahoma for a long time. Thanks for the call. You are live.
Well, hello, Dr. Glidden. I spoke with you once before, and I have a very compromised digestive tract with leaky gut, and you had suggested some cow toddy. I got the Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0, the crystals. I didn't get the liquid, but I got the Osteo FX and the EFAs. I also got the Selenium and the Sweeties because of my diabetes. Now, what I wanted to know is I got so many issues here that now, for instance, I need to lose weight, but I got a Hell's Kitchen, and my understanding is that obesity is a mineral deficiency, and so since I'm so compromised in so many areas, I figure before I should take anything to lose weight, I need to build myself up first. So I'm wondering, I take a bioidentical thyroid and a bioidentical hormone cream, and so I'm wondering, when you build yourself up nutritionally, would that improve your body to the point where you wouldn't need those, those bioidentical hormone and thyroid? Or how does all this work? And you had mentioned, now since I have receding gums and stuff, I understand that that's basically osteoporosis of the skull. And so I do have osteoporosis. And so, anyway, some extra calcium, but I have the Osteo FX. I don't have the gel and some of those other things. So, can you give me some direction here?
No, I can't. It's way too complicated. I'm going home. Yes, of course I can give you some direction, Victoria. That's my job, and it's a lot easier to do than you might think. You're absolutely right that everything is connected all of the time. So, in order to help your body lose weight, the recommendation is eliminate the 10 bad foods. Stop eating the 10 bad foods. Most people, without any nutritional supplementation whatsoever, just from stopping the 10 bad foods, they're going to lose 5 or 10 pounds without even trying. So I wouldn't worry about weight loss right now. What I would worry about is, how am I going to stop eating the 10 bad foods? You need to dial that in immediately. Number 2.
I'm working on that. I'm gluten intolerant, and I don't eat fried foods. And I don't, anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you have to stop all 10 bad foods, and there's no working on it. You just stop it, although I understand where you're coming from. Okay, so stop the 10 bad foods and just do the nutritional supplement program that you have in front of you for 90 days. Do the nutritional supplement program that you have in front of you for 90 days. Now, are you going...
Oh, okay, now just a minute here. I needed to add, I got an extra bottle of the liquid minerals, and I have to tell you, I am ecstatic. I want to share with you, I had tried another liquid mineral supplement. It was an ionic something or other, fluvic acid or something. But even though I took it with food, it gave me diarrhea, terrible. And I am very ecstatic to the fact that I have worked myself up to 2 ounces in the morning of the minerals, along with, and I'm not doing 2 scoops of the DTT just because of, I need to work up to this. But I have worked up to 2 ounces of the minerals plus an ounce of the Osteo FX and the BT plus the selenium and the sweeties and the EFAs, and that has not given me the runs, and that by itself for me is a miracle.
Well, you're doing exactly the right stuff, and remember, this is a process. It's not an event. You just need to maintain the discipline here. Now, it's entirely possible that the thyroid function will improve. The only way you're going to be able to know that is to get some blood work done, but I wouldn't worry about that for 3 months. I would just maintain the discipline here. You're doing exactly the right stuff. You're the smartest woman in Oklahoma. I told you that before. Keep doing what you're doing. Give the program 90 days. Don't worry about the weight. Focus on eliminating the 10 bad foods and figuring out how to get the supplements into the program, into your body, in a way that doesn't upset the apple cart. You're doing a great, great job. Hour 2 coming up, folks. Stick around.